Here with a little bit different kind of upload this week. Usually I do the pickups from my truck in here. I'm going to save those for the end of the month. What I'm going to talk about today is my backlog and some of the games I want to tackle in 2024. I mentioned a few of them already, but this topic's got me all pumped up. I've been really enjoying playing video games lately and watching people play video games. It's getting me pumped up. I just watched a video of it from Iowa Retro Gamer Dad about the subject, and also my buddy DGC, Dat Game Collector, had a good video on it. He's always all about tackling his backlog, and he's hard into video games this year. He got me pumped up thinking about the games I want to take on in 2024. I picked out maybe a dozen of them here. I try to do maybe at least 12 a year, maybe one a month. I might try to do more than that this year. I'm already working on a couple. I've actually already completed 2 games this year. And but right now, I'm working on some of these, and I want to get to more of them to complete in 2024. I'll just start off with this one here, Mega Man 64. I started it last year a little bit, but I kind of wanted to put it off for this year. My buddy Phil Berto was going to try to run through this on PlayStation, Mega Man Legends, so I kind of want to wait for him to start it so we can exchange notes and maybe talk about the differences between them, or help out each other with strategies or whatever. But from what I played of this so far, it's a banger. Kind of like it seems almost open world type, a Zelda type Mega Man game. It's 3D. There's a little city that's that connects all of the dungeons. It's a pretty cool game so far. It has a little story. There's voice acting and everything. So we'll do that. Another one, I'll just stick on 64 here. This is the one that's Retro Ryan was playing the other day, and I forgot how cool this was. I kind of want to beat this. I may have beaten it back in the day, but it has limited continues. Omega Ace Gaming is hard into this game now, so I kind of want to get good at this and beat it. Really cool, sword fighting game, kind of like Soul Calibur. It looks pretty darn good. And speaking of fighting games, this game I guess is a joke, but I just want to play it and beat it because I always thought it looked kind of interesting. War Gods. It's kind of like a mixture of polygonal characters and digitized actors. It's kind of a cool look. And then Sega Genesis. I think Alex was saying he wanted to tackle a lot of Sega games this year. But I do kind of want to hook up my Genesis and beat some games. But the one that came to mind was this Accolade game, Zero Tolerance. Not to be confused with the PM Entertainment movie with Robert Patrick, which is a banger movie. If you haven't seen Zero Tolerance with Robert Patrick, it's a really cool, almost like John Wick style revenge action movie from the 90s. PM Entertainment, like the king of straight-to-video action movies. Zero Tolerance. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, Zero Tolerance on Sega Genesis was it's kind of like looks like it's pushing the Genesis hardware. It's 3D first-person shooter. Like you can pick multiple characters. It's kind of like a open-ended. It kind of looks like a Doom type game. I played a little bit of it on an emulator, but my controller wasn't working very good. I kept drifting off to the right. So I'm thinking, from what I played, it was really darn good. So I'm gonna hook up the Genesis this year and try to do this. Should have brought in some more Genesis games to talk about. Maybe I got to complete Rise of Dragon on Sega CD. What else? There's some other ones. See, new ones always pop up. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to beat all these games in 2024. New ones always pop up. Like I say, there's always these little contests like that Alpha Nerd runs, or other people run these little contests to play certain games. I might get hooked on a certain game and spend a bunch of time on that. Here's one I've always wanted, Maniac Mansion point-and-click adventure for NES. I'm really into the point-and-click adventures lately. I just beat Deja Vu and Shadowgate, and those were fantastic, fun little games, really chill, relax, fun I really got into them, like almost like I got into Snatcher, like those games. I think that they're published by Kimco. They're ports of old Mac point and click games, but good. This one's, what's this one by Lucasfilm? Wow, based on the original Lucasfilm. I guess see the TV version. Oh yeah, there was a television show based on this on the Family Channel. I forgot about that. Does it have anything to do with this? This is published by Jalico. Fantastic. Here's one I kind of want to do this year. I don't know if I'll have time with all this other stuff, but this one's always been one I've wanted to tackle for Nintendo. The Adventure of Link. I could probably play that on my Switch on the online service. I think I even have it on my 3DS. So that's something I could just play portably. Something it never appealed to me when I was young, but over the years I'm starting to gain a lot of interest in this. So I'd really like to try this. I've actually only beaten 3 Zelda games my entire life. The original was probably my favorite. Ocarina of Time, which was at the time I played it. I've only beaten it one time in my life, but that one time was like a religious experience. And then Breath of the Wild. Those are the only 3 I've beaten. So I kind of want to start back with this one. The one I'm working on now on 3DS that Majority sent me, Dragon Quest VII. It's really cool so far. Kind of overwhelming on the PlayStation version. This one kind of holds your hand a little bit more, and it looks a lot better. Really charming, fun game. I've talked about that a lot. I think I just mentioned this one, Star Ocean, the Last Hope. I want to go back and beat that one. I'll just start a fresh file on my slim PlayStation 3. Tecmo's Deception that my buddy BioPhoenix sent me. Got to do that one. PlayStation Year is what Tight White's talking about, and Physical Media Mac. So, and I kind of wanted to get in on some of that, play some PlayStation games. Here's one. I've always liked it, but I've never finished it. BioPhoenix, speaking of him, did a great review on this and the sequel to this, Overblood 2. And I just watched J Chip just purchase this, and he's going to run through that. Made me think that I need to beat this, because I usually always play almost to the end, and then I just stop playing, and then I like erase my save file. So here's one I really want to play through. Survival horror puzzle adventure game. It's not super difficult, but I don't think there's much combat. It's just all like backtracking, like Resident Evil without many zombie encounters. Sci-fi survival horror game. I really like it. Electronic Arts published that. So that's one I want to complete this year. And this year, this is a game I never liked. I never liked this series. I've tried them many times, every entry of the series, and I've never liked any of them. I think I got through the 3rd one. I played it for like 5 hours. I got pretty far, but then I just never finished it. So I want to go back and give it one more chance. I'm thinking this thing's right up my alley. Metal Gear Solid, because I'm into James Bond movies. I love cheesy voice-acted video games. There's no reason why I shouldn't like this game. I love spy thriller stuff. Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation. It's supposed to be a classic. I've really been into trying to complete a lot of the classic PlayStation games. So I kind of want to go back and give this another try. And see what the hype is. Like, I know there's something here I'm gonna like. I've never been able to get through these, but I'm thinking this is the year that I'm going to get through this and find a lot of enjoyment with it. So Metal Gear Solid. Oh, shout out to Lucky Collector. I think I got this copy from him. Yeah, he sent me a bundle of stuff one time with this nice copy of Metal Gear Solid. And then here's one Okay, I hate to say this, but I never liked this game at all. I beat it once with a Game Shark. Because I wanted to get through it to see what happens. Never liked this game. Resident Evil 3. And I just tried to play it last year again, and I got maybe a couple hours into it, and I was just like, man, I'm just not enjoying this. I don't like the setting. I like the police station and the mansion from the first one. I don't like all this on the street crap. Like everything looks the same. It's all a bunch of back alleys and a lot of backtracking. I know. Technically, it looks a lot better. I like Jill's in here, and she's looking sexy as ever. So you think I like this game? Because she's probably always my favorite Resident Evil character. And then the Nemesis monster is really cool design. But man, this game, there's nothing about it really appealed to me. I tried to play it last year again, and I got to this part where I just kept, Nemesis is chasing you across the city, and I just made a save point. I tried to run across the city, and he kept catching me. Then I have to go load my save again. And then, like, I don't know, I just got frustrated. And then I had to go back in the sewers, and then these giant worms kept getting me. I don't know, like this, I'm not enjoying this enough to get pissed off at a game like this. I hear it's not even that difficult, but I know I've beaten harder games than this, but kind of want to maybe try to beat this. Maybe I'll think differently about it. If not, I have a backup, Resident Evil 3 Remake. I know I'm gonna like this. I'm pretty darn sure. I hear it's pretty short. If it plays anything like the Resident Evil 2 remake, and I hear they cut stuff out of that game, I think that thing drug on way too long, and it doesn't even have as much content as Resident Evil 2, but I hate to talk crap about that, but I'm pretty sure I like this version of it, if not. Okay, and then I'll stick with the PlayStation 4 after that. Here's one I started. I played it a long time, but then I uninstalled it because I needed room for stuff. Final Fantasy, is it 15? Yeah, Final Fantasy 15. Because I was enjoying it. I just don't really care for the battle combat system. But I was really having flashbacks. I just watched that movie, The Hitcher, for the first time with Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell. It was a fantastic horror action movie, really cool, like road thriller movie. And I was getting flashbacks to this. It's kind of like an Americana, like road trip movie, like rest stops or truck stops and rest stops and bars and gas stations and stuff. It gave me a flashback to this game. You know what? I kind of enjoyed this game. I kind of want to go back and play this all the way through, this Final Fantasy 15. Because I really like the setting of this. It's like a Americana road trip style mixed with fantasy. And here's one I kind of want to start pretty soon. I'm pretty sure this is going to work on my Series X, Alan Wake. Because I was big into the horror games last year. Like I beat a few Silent Hills, and so I kind of want to do this one next. I hear it's a kind of a lot like a mixture of like a Stephen King novel and Twin Peaks. So I kind of want to play that this year. And then my wife and I started this game a couple years ago, but we got frustrated and we were starting to fight with each other. No, with Star Trek. My wife's a big Star Trek fan, and I'm a big Resident Evil 5 fan, and so this brings our interests together. This is like a Resident Evil 5 version of the Star Trek movie, the J.J. Abrams one, a co-op third-person shooter game. It was really cool. I really enjoyed this game from what we played of it. We played this in space level where you're in the Enterprise, you're controlling it, and we kept getting bombarded with blasts, and it said use shields, and we would try to use shields, but we just die anyway. We were getting frustrated. But I guess like shields in this is like a block button, like you have to hold it. Like when did they ever have to hold a button on the show? Like usually shields up and the shields are up. So we would just punch the shield button, and we would think, oh, the shields are up, so the torpedoes aren't going to hurt us, but they kept hurting us. So this game you have to like hold a block button like for the shields on the Enterprise. So we got frustrated on that part, and then we never went back to it. But I kind of want to go back to this and beat it with my wife. Speaking of Star Trek, this is from Ultra Games, which is Konami, right? So this has got to be good. I would just watched the Comic Man was streaming this the other day. I think it was like Captain Picard Day or something. So he's playing Star Trek games, and I go, man, this game looks really good. And I love the original series. That's probably my favorite Star Trek series with Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. Here's Star Trek, the 25th anniversary. I know my wife would like this. I kind of want to play through it with my wife. Like, we could watch each other because she's a big Star Trekkie, and I like it. But, I mean, this game looks fantastic. The graphics look really good. It might have been a later NES game, like towards the end of the NES run. But, yeah, so it looks like you go on missions, like you're up on the bridge, and then you go to the transporter, and you go down to the planet, and you go on a mission, and the graphics look really good. A lot of like color, like I wouldn't expect the Nintendo to be able to handle. It looks really good, like high production. I guess you can expect that from Ultra Games. So I want to do that one this year. On top of that, I want to maybe play some more old school games on like compilations. I have like more Genesis games. Maybe Streets of Rage 3. That's a tough game, but maybe if I pulled like a Phil Twerpin and just like dedicated a lot of time to one game. Like Phil Twerpin, shout out to him, beat Battletoads just cold turkey. He just streamed it, the whole thing, the whole adventure. He just streamed it from start to finish. A tough game, but get a little bit further each time until he finally beat the whole game. I don't know if I'm ready to tackle something like that, but Streets of Rage 3 is pretty tough. I might try to do something like that. Just keep practicing that until I can beat it. I need to play Super Mario RPG. I need to play. I like to play more games on my Switch. I was just watching, what's her name? Fem Trooper. She just like, something she said just like was an epiphany to me about the Nintendo Switch. I like to watch movies or listen to audiobooks or watch people playing games when I'm at the gym on the treadmill when I'm running. She was saying Nintendo Switch she plays at the gym on the treadmill, or I don't know if it's at the gym or at her home treadmill or whatever, but on the treadmill, put the Switch up there. And you know like how hard it is? Like, I've tried to play my games before on the treadmill or something, but it's kind of awkward. Take the Joy-Cons, and she says she can run with them and play the games. Like, man, that's kind of like an epiphany. Like, you could actually maybe play a game like that with the Joy-Cons when you're running. So I don't know that's like a way I'd spend more hours playing video games, like maximize my time. Like when I'm doing my hour of cardio, I could play a game on my Switch. Maybe I could do that. That's a good opportunity to play this game on my Switch at the gym. What do you guys think? So guys, let me know about any of these games, if you got any tips about these or what games you want to play next year. How you tackle your backlog, or how you do it. Go from console to console, or just stick with one console, go on like a marathon of one console, go to the next one. I'm hoping DGC does a spring backlog challenge. I used to get down on a lot of games back when DGC would run those contests. So who knows? I might even have another batch of different games to play this year. This is just stuff that's on my radar that I'm looking to beat this year. No guarantees, but it could be a whole other batch of games. You never know if new games pop out or games I wasn't aware of will pop up that I'll become interested in. Anyway, guys, take it easy. Stay dry.